names on a clock tower door before everything changed. We were big-eyed boys with the salt on our skin, and we'd throw our kites to the wind, and they fly on and on and on and on, on and on and on and on and on. It's been years since we carved our names on a clock tower door before everything changed. We were big-eyed boys with the salt on our skin, and we'd throw our kites to the wind, and they fly on and on and on and on, on and on and on and on and on and on. It's been years. Lines on our skin. Tower's gone now. Throw our dust to the wind.
Eviscerate for silly damage, and then it's 100% extra on top of it.
Aha. Hey, what's up, chat?
Hi, chat.
Hey,
We're going to have
chat.
so much fun
Chat.
talking about this build next episode.
Shit. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh.
Whatever we come up with.
Oh, I don't know if we're going to even come up with something.
Yeah, it'll probably be
Nope.
more along the lines. I kind of like what we did with...
It's like Varian.
well,
kind of,
and
almost.
even... I'm going to get it right. I'm going to get it right, guys. Vol'jin. No, my gosh.
No,
Zul'jin.
you're wrong. Terrible. Leave.
Zul'jin.
Oh my God.
Because we kind of expanded upon everything, and then at the end just went, oh, and this was the build, by the way, because we talked about a whole bunch of stuff.
That'll probably be how it goes.
Hey, I am all for that. The more of those Blizzard releases, the better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
agreed.
that's just that just makes things so much more fun.
Agreed.
So much more fun.
I can't wait to talk about this dumb rooster. So we're gonna go ahead and get things started here. 'Cause-
Yes. Yes. We have lots of thoughts on that.
Oh, I didn't. Guys, this week I am going to wing an intro, okay?
Okay.
Chat room.
Okay.
Because I didn't write one. Let me go through this in my head real quick. All right, we're good. We are good. And here we go. This episode of Lords of the Storm is brought to you by our sponsors over at Patreon, where you, yes you, can also support the show. Just head over to patreon.com/Lords of the Storm to become a patron today.
Greetings, mortal. Thunder! Lightning! Whoa! That's kind of frightening.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 99 of Lords of the Storm, the weekly Heroes of the Storm podcast for you, the true heroes of the storm. I'm your host, Greg Parker, aka Gizmozord, but you can call me Gizmo. And on this week's episode, we have some awesome announcements. We touch a little bit on the latest patch notes to hit the live servers, as well as wrap up week 1 of HGC. But of course, joining me this evening are some more of the Zord Lords themselves. First up, we have Mr. Kevin Ellis, aka Multi-Zord. Multi, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I am doing all right, and I nailed that thing. You would think after 98 episodes, I would be able to do an intro without writing one, and I did it. And I'm okay
I'm
with
so
it.
proud.
We're super proud of you.
So proud.
I did it.
Super proud.
I'm
I'm
crying
crying a
inside.
little bit right now.
Just brought a little tear to my eye.
On the outside,
Oh wow. I don't think I've ever cried on the outside. I need to work on this.
I've been taught not to internalize my feelings,
Oh.
because then they bottle up deep inside, and then you lash out irrationally.
So that's what's happening.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
that's good. Good stuff. We also have joining us, as always, Mr. Ryan Reeder, aka TBK Zord. And TBK, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully. I'm very excited to talk about all the stuff tonight. It's good.
It's good.
It's a good night. It's a good night. You nailed your intro.
I did.
I just won a quick match right before the podcast. It's good.
I won a solo queue Hero League game. Things are going well. Your internet is working. At first, when I saw that post, I was like, "Oh crap!" Didn't think it was working, but it's all good. But yeah, what have you guys been up to in gaming this week? Multi, we'll start with you.
All right. So, I've been continuing to try to push the Hearthstone ladder, but I've got to say, my wife and I are going to be moving pretty soon, just to another rental place here. But it turns out we want to move like late to mid-February instead of March as originally planned. So I'm having to change things around, and I frankly don't think I'm going to have time to sink in the games to hit Legend now. So I had this whole plan concocted because my February and March are way too busy to actually try, and I was thinking this could be the month, but this one got busy too, guys. So, but you know what? Like, at the same time, when I came to that decision, it was a huge weight off my shoulders, and I was like, man, I can get back in and play more heroes, try out this Overwatch stuff as well. Like, I don't know, I kind of like it, and I'm thinking moving forward, what I'm probably going to do is not set aside a month to really push, and instead, like, wait for the meta to be something that really clicks with me. Perhaps it's a month that I do have a lot of time, and then just kind of naturally let it happen. But I don't know if I'm going to put that kind of pressure on myself again, because ladder anxiety, man, and the meta right now is so paper, rock, scissors that, so.
Well,
anyway,
yeah, technically, Multi, it could be possible here in the next month or two that they're going to change the way the ladder works so that
It's
you
true.
get locked in, right?
yeah, they're doing
So
a
maybe
bunch of-
just wait until then.
I mean, yeah, there's something to that. So it would be nice to hit 5 and stay at 5, because I definitely danced between 5 and 6 for like a week straight. I think I dropped out of 5 10 times or so. But anyway, yeah, it's all good.
That's rough. Adult life. Hashtag adult
I know,
life.
right?
That's what it is. No, I kind of I get the same way you do about Diablo seasons because I used to
yeah.
up through what are we on now? Season 9. So I think through season 7 I was doing a hardcore tune at the beginning and just like pushing the ladder as hard as I could. And then as soon as my hardcore character dies, there's like 1 or 2 tiers that come down and I'm real sad and upset, and then all of a sudden it's like okay, now I don't have to play Diablo until next season. Let's get back to other things. So
Right. Yeah. Same kind of feeling, really. So.
All right, TBK, how about you? What have you been up to in gaming this week?
Speaking of adult life hit me hard. I was watching my kid for several evenings because the wife was working extra, and then my poor grandparents, my poor grandpa, who's like 85, 86, got scammed by some Indian dude who said he was from
No.
Microsoft. Yeah.
Oh, okay, at Microsoft.
Mhm.
I thought it was one of the tax ones because I deal with those all day.
Oh,
Identity
no,
thieves.
no. No, this is one of those ones like, this is Microsoft tech support. Your
Yeah.
computer's bad. Oh, is it?
It's-
Okay.
Seems like
I
it's
will do
working to me.
everything you tell me to do. Yeah. So I had to go over there last night and get that all straightened out and get everything restored and fixed for him. But it's good. He didn't lose anything. But I managed to get some heroes in this weekend. A lot of fun. I mainly I did some of the Bloodlust Brawls, which was a lot of fun. I played with Valera quite a bit, which I am enjoying her much more because I don't think it's a secret. I've been telling many people I'm not a massive Zul'jin fan. I'm not. He's not that he's bad. Not that he's a bad character. He's not my play style at all.
Mhm.
And so it was honestly a chore for me to get him to 5. It's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Lost Vikings bad, but it was pretty bad. So I got
There are
him at
heroes
5.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got him at 5 finally, and he's probably just gonna kind of sit in the wings and collect cobwebs, to be honest.
Okay.
So, but it's been fun. Lots of heroes this week. It's been good.
Yeah, not every hero is going to fit everyone's play style. So I definitely have some heroes like that.
At the same time, Valera doesn't fit my play style, but I love her so much, and I love how she feels and is. I mean, we can talk about this in a little bit, but I want to force it. Like it's a rare character where like I'm not good on her, but I want to sit there and play her until I am because it's fun.
You will bow to me.
That's
Do my bidding. So I was finally able to. I got some heroes in today, some buggy heroes in today, but I didn't get a lot of gaming done throughout this week. I got some real bad news earlier in the week that kind of kept me just away from the computer for a few days. But so hopped in, checked out some Valera today, and it's gonna be an interesting discussion next week that I'm really excited for. So
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
let's go.
Speaking of bad news, TBK, I thought your grandpa news was going to be way worse than that.
Yeah.
I was sitting here like, oh, here it
No,
comes.
thankfully
I'm sorry
not.
for your loss,
It was
man.
just a computer thing.
Yeah.
Just a computer thing. Because he's
Still
still
no good.
At 85. He's a huge photography guy, and he edits all of his own photos in Photoshop and everything.
That's cool.
He's got. I mean, the Photoshop version is quite old at this point, but he's kind of mastered his old, Photoshop 6 or 7 or whatever it was, and he does it. So I'm proud of him.
Yeah, and just a PSA out there. If anyone calls you, these are the two big ones going around. This has nothing to do with heroes. But if somebody's telling you something's wrong with your computer, or somebody is claiming to be the IRS and get you to get money for them, it's not true. Just hang up the phone on them. That's all you gotta do.
And for the IRS, call the TIGTA phone line. That's Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration, TIGTA. Just Google it. There's a phone line for it, and report that stuff because they need to know. I'm sorry, guys. I used to work for the IRS for.
That's fine. You would have been my mortal enemy. I work for tax resolution, so there we go.
Yeah. You're not supposed to resolve those things.
Yeah.
man.
No. Anyways, back into heroes. What do we got going on in the store sale?
Lots. We got lots going on. Lily is on sale this week, along with the Festival Lily skin to kind of go and coincide with the lunar holiday. And Raider Rexar, that sweet StarCraft skin for Rexar, is on sale as well. We also have a ton of bundles. The Valera bundle, of course, which gets you the really incredible Demon Hunter skin. Like, props to you, Blizzard. Props to your animation. Props to your art department. The Demon Hunter skin looks fantastic. Really good. And then you get the Fell Hunter mount as well. And then Blizzard brought back the 2016 Lunar Festival bundle, and that'll get you the Dragon mount, that cool little Lunar Dragon mount in there as well. And then the 2017 Lunar Festival bundle, and that is Lunar Li Ming and the Monkey King Samuro, as well as the Nimbus Cloud. So I bought it today. I had dudes. The Li Ming skin is incredible.
It looks so good. Is that the only way to get it though?
It looked like it was currently.
Because I tried to get just that skin. I was thinking about it.
I know, I did too.
The Monkey King skin's amazing as well, though. So it's definitely if you play,
both really good. And the Nimbus Cloud mount's really cool.
Yes, it is.
That's true. It's got 3 different color tints and everything. But I am gonna take this moment, Blizzard, to rant at you just a little bit, because sometimes you make it incredibly hard for me to give you money. Because when you come out with these amazing skins and all you do is throw them in bundles, or amazing mounts and all you do is throw them in bundles, sometimes I don't want the other thing in the bundle, and so that will actually keep me from buying it. True. Because it pushes it over the price range I want to spend.
Yeah, I'm genuinely not thinking.
Yeah, which is why, that's why I searched for the Li Ming skin, because the Monkey King Samuro skin is pretty sweet. I don't play Samuro that much, though, so I was just like, I have the other skin because I got the bundle for him originally. That's fine. And so I went to look for the Li Ming skin, and I didn't find it separately. And I was like, oh my gosh, come on. So I know the mounts sometimes get taken from the bundles after 2 or 3 weeks and put in the shop separately, but I would like to see. I know you want people to buy the bundle. I can understand that, but I feel like people would be much more enticed, and there'd be more people buying if they could buy all the stuff separately and then piecemeal what they want. Like, dynamic bundles are nice.
That does help.
But if I don't want something in the dynamic bundle, that doesn't help me.
Yeah, and all they would have to do...
Just throwing it out there.
It makes sense for these themed things, to keep them in bundles. But, I go through the same thing. Like, I didn't get that Christmas one because I couldn't afford it at the time, and by, next thing I know, it was gone. And I haven't bought this one. If you have been listening to the show, I used to buy every single thing that came out.
Yes.
And I've stopped. I don't do that anymore. And a big part of it is a lot of the skins that come out are in these themed bundles. And even if you took them out and made the skins, cost more separately than what say a skin's $8 if I get it in the bundle and it's $10 if I buy it separately, I would still do that for some of these skins because I don't need the other ones, or some of the mounts that come out. I do want the Nimbus mount though, so I'll definitely get that. But yeah, it's
I just wanted to kind of say that because it feels a little sad sometimes, because it's just like, I want to give you money, but I don't want to pay an exorbitant amount for something I'm not going to use that much.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so that's my exact spot I'm in.
So anyways, that's kind of where that is. So the Lunar Tiger also returned to the store, which is very appropriate since it is the Lunar Festival. And everybody's favorite. And we'll talk about the other thing here when we get to the patch notes. But the much easier to obtain Golden Rooster is now in the store for 10k gold. It's very, very reasonable for a gold mount, actually. I was very surprised it ended up at 10k. So kudos to you guys, Blizzard. It's a beautiful mount, and I love it, and every character I own right now is riding it.
Yep. And it's hilarious.
I even have Nazeebo riding it, and the Nazebra is back in his little stable right now because it's that awesome.
Yeah, this stabled the Hearthstone card for me, guys. That's like my only mount, and it's a Golden Rooster.
Yeah, and that's
all I have to say. Freaking Rooster.
Skippy, the Wonder Chicken, who of course would buy this mount, said that he would have spent 30k on it, and I think last week I said I would have spent 40k on this. It's kind of mind blowing that it's only 10,000 because we've had other mounts come out that are like 20 and even. Have we had a 30,000?
20s are the norm. The Nexus Charger was 30. That was the 30Ks. And this is the first 10K as far as I know.
Uh-huh.
As far as I know.
Yeah, kudos. It's an amazing mount.
It is. Really is. So, Multi, let's get into the free hero rotation this week.
Free heroes are Lili, ETC, Lunara, Dehaka, Li-Ming, Zul, Sylvanas at 5, Artanis at 7, Ariel at 12, and Samuro at 15. And these are pretty solid, guys, because a lot of these are heroes that we saw frequently in HGC. If you haven't really played Dehaka in a while, for instance, there's one you could hop on. Just see a ton of play out of him as like sort of off-tank bruisery. Certainly a solo laner. How many duels did we see going on with him?
Yeah.
So that's one to check out if you haven't before. Artanis, Stitch's Hook 2.0. He's out there. But yeah.
Yeah, I think we saw every hero except for, and I didn't catch a lot of the EU games, but except for Lili and Samuro and Lunara. I don't think we saw Lunara.
Lili was actually played at least once. I don't know if it was an EU game, but I know she was played at least once.
Okay, so maybe Lunara.
And Lunara was played at least once.
Okay, I was gonna say I imagine that because she's played
good
for a while.
Yeah.
Zul is the only one I don't know about. Actually,
Zul was.
So that's crazy.
What was he played? Maybe he wasn't. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he might not.
I think I saw
I just
him,
deleted
but I'm
him
not
in the
sure.
notes on accident just because he wasn't.
Oh, yeah?
Get
Now
deleted.
he's gone. He's gone.
All right. I need to stop doing it. So I'm known for, especially when I'm guesting on shows, that I just click around docs and everything. And I was on the Game Case show with Cuddles and and Terarts, and she was going through listener questions. And right when she got to a question, I had something like highlighted, and I did something that just completely flopped like the wording of the question, and she was so lost.
Mid-question?
Yeah, because of it. And I just blamed it on Totem because it was his question. But I felt so bad, and I turned super red, and I didn't say anything till after the show. Anyways.
Totally drunk?
Yeah,
I just blame everything on
There was
him.
a
It's
question
fine.
he sent in, so it was great.
Yeah.
But we have some announcements this week. TBK, what do we got for our first one? Super stoked about this.
This is really big. So me and Bo from Core have been putting in a ton of work behind the scenes, and we just revealed this on Monday. So if you follow pretty much any of our Twitters, you will have seen it already. But we are going to be doing a second, and we're calling it annual now because we'd like to do at least one of these every year. We are doing the second annual Heroes Charity Brawl to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And this is really cool, guys. We're going to do basically the same format we did last year, except we're actually going to go an hour longer this time, which is really cool. So me, Gizmo, and Multi will be joining John Jagger, Bo Schwartz, and Scott Johnson from Core, as well as Garrett and Kyle from Into the Nexus, and DJ Tyrant from Power Hour, and Rillin Dune from Hotscast. And so the 10 of us will be getting together. We'll be doing a 4-hour stream. It's going to be on February 25th at starting at, I believe, 2 Pacific. And that will be on the Frog Pants channel. And we're going to basically do a bunch of really fun, cool show match type things. Like last year we did some really cool stuff like the raid boss fight, where one team was like Horde and Alliance members versus one team of only raid bosses from WoW. Battle for the Bullion, where one team had to collect and hold onto 100 coins on black hearts to win. That was pretty crazy, and coins range for days. The Haunted Mine speed run, which is no longer possible to do. Reverse draft, which is where you draft for your opponents. And so the crappy teams that come out of that,
we got to bring that one back.
Yeah, are always kind of fun to see. And then, of course, this year we have Blizzard's brand new sandbox mode. So you can definitely expect to see 1 or 2 games played with crazy wonky settings from that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're raising money for Make-A-Wish. You can go to the website. Heroes Charity Brawl is going to be redirected to it. But if you want to go the long way, GoFundMe.com/Heroes Charity Brawl 2. The crazy thing is, we announced this on Monday, People have already donated $250.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
guys, you are awesome. You're crazy. You're ridiculous. Our goal, we raised our goal sum this year. It's $3,230. Did you get that?
323. I got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not get that. That's great.
Yeah. So that was pretty fun. It was a good suggestion. So last year we actually set a goal of like $1,000, and we destroyed it
Yeah.
and raised like $2,800. So we're super excited to see what we'll be able to raise this year. We're gonna have the show matches, we're going to have giveaways, we're going to have a little like podcast roundtable at the end like we had last time. So it's going to be a ton of fun. We hope you come out to support it because hopefully it'll be entertaining.
Yeah, and
guess.
there's nothing else going on that weekend. No HGC that weekend, so
Yeah.
come on out.
That is the HGC bye weekend. It's like we planned it or something.
What? Crazy how that
No
works.
way.
It's actually we had this
so-
scheduled, and then Blizzard was like, you know what? HGC could use a break this
Better
weekend.
move HGC.
Let's-
Yeah.
Exactly.
So are the teams on that splash art you guys have for it part of the plan too? Because I noticed I am on an opposite team from you guys, and you're going down.
It's true. That is completely random, but it's quite possible that the teams on the splash art will make an appearance in at least one game.
Fair point.
All right. And our next announcement. So if you've been listening to this episode from the beginning, you might notice it was number 99, which means next week is the big 100, which we are super excited about. Our first podcast, making it to 100 episodes, unless something goes terribly wrong between now and next week.
Not
Don't
impossible.
jinx
And
it.
we disband.
Knock on wood.
No. But so we're super stoked for that. We're going to have a lot of giveaways thanks to Blizzard for live on the show, before the show, after the show, in Discord, on Twitter, on Facebook. So make sure and check all those things out. And also, if you guys have any, favorite show memories, episodes, feedback, anything that you would like to tell us for episode 100 or for that to be on the show, please send those in to us. You can do that on Discord, or preferably, if you guys don't hate emailing too much, email whatever to lordsofthestorm@outlook.com. It'll just be easier for us to keep track of everything that way, just so we can get something together to have a special moment next week to celebrate this milestone, because it's going to be awesome. We want to take a little trip down memory lane, but we're also, it's not the whole episode, because we got work to do with HGC now. We're going to do a Valier build next week. So all in all, it's going to be a good episode, and we really just appreciate everyone who's been listening, not only from the beginning, but just anything, any amount of time in general. We really appreciate you guys. Which brings us, any of you guys want to say something about it?
I'm excited.
Episode 100?
It's really cool. This marks almost 2 years of podcasting for Heroes, which is really, really cool, because we started this in February of 2015.
Right.
Very end
So
of
it is.
February of 2015. So almost 2 years we've been doing this now, and it's been really cool seeing the game evolve, seeing the community around the game evolve, seeing all the support, not just for our podcast, but for all the community shows. And that's what I really love about this community, is that none of these shows are in it to like beat each other. We all are just trying to do our best. We all have our niches, and everyone is super supportive of all the other ones. So super excited for episode 100. It's going to be, we're going to have contests, we'll have giveaways, we'll have laughing, and probably some crying, only internally.
Only on the inside.
We're
it'll be
allowed
good.
one tier each for that episode.
One tier each.
Tier each. But no, it really is cool, because statistically speaking, people's first podcast, like making it past 10 episodes, is a huge milestone. So for us, having no idea what we were doing when we began this journey, making it to 100 is awesome. And I don't want to spend too much time on it, because we'll talk next week. But
Right.
no crying
No,
this
that's
week.
exciting though. It's one of those things that's been looming for a while. Like, as the numbers count up, once we hit like, I don't know, 80 something, we were saying, oh man, 100's just right around the corner. And yeah, now it actually is just right around the corner. So I'm excited.
All right. Well, let's get back into the heroes stuff here. So first up, brawl thoughts. The Bloodlust Brawl this week. I'm not a huge fan of it. So I've only played one match, and it could have just been a bad match. But I don't think I love the whole roulette thing of having a choice between three characters. I don't think that should be a thing on a game mode that's going to be, for the most part, a full-length game, because that just it can be really uncomfortable if you hop on a hero you've never played without looking at anything and having to do a build. Like, people were like, what build talents are you going? No, what talents are you going? You have no idea what you're doing. And it was super toxic. But that's really the only thing I didn't like about it. I liked the idea behind it, but I wish in those situations you could probably just pick your hero or be assigned heroes like the mage thing. But then you have talent builds there too, so I don't know. What's
those
your
people
thought,
though? Those people should just go back and listen to all of the episodes of Lords of the Storm. Just flat out.
Oh, I have these three
we
heroes.
do have a build
let me get that
for
one.
almost every single hero.
Yeah.
Some of them may be horribly, horribly, horribly outdated.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And maybe even just horrible. But yeah.
It's quite possible.
Yeah.
They were okay at the time, maybe. No, I don't know. I didn't completely hate it like you did. I agree with you on several of those points for sure. I kind of liked the Bloodlust feature itself, just being able to know when you can kind of turn it up. I was playing Zarya in mine, which was kind of fun, like doing a surprising amount of damage with that beam. But otherwise, it was whatever. Do you guys feel like Solid Jake came up with this one though? We know how he likes.
I'm sure he was
Bloodlust.
super happy.
Yeah. And the other thing about it, like, the idea behind it was cool, but it was so random that I felt like every time I got it, I was like it wasn't beneficial for me. Like, I was clearing a lane or
just laning or
doing something weird. So maybe like extend the length on the Bloodlust and whatnot. But I'm sure they'll get plenty of feedback for last time. TBK, what were your thoughts?
I liked it, guys. Come on.
Of course.
I liked it.
Of course.
I had a lot of fun. No, I loved the mechanic of, and I don't know. I'm a huge fan of shuffle pick. That could partially be because I've played every hero a decent amount, so I kind of know what I'm getting into regardless of what pops up.
Does
And
give you the
not
advantage.
not everyone's got that same experience, but so for me, the shuffle pick is actually kind of fun because sometimes I'll get to play stuff that I don't think about playing that often. I love the little Bloodlust mechanic. That two people randomly get it, and then sometimes all five people got it. It was kind of crazy. People have been undervaluing, at least in the games I've played, mercenary camps, because all the mercenary camps get Bloodlust as soon as you capture them. And so the pushing power, like, one game we just had 4 giants going, and the team didn't realize, I guess, that they get bloodlusted too. And by the time they were taking care of them, they were literally just destroying the keep, just absolutely tearing it apart in the bottom lane. Dragon Knight gets bloodlust too, and so anything that's bloodlusted gets healed. So you can actually heal the Dragon Knight up from the bloodlust, which allows you to kind of keep it going for the whole duration. The one thing I would have changed, and I agree with you, it can go long. And I think people are still kind of split about what is a brawl? Like, what should it be? Should it be like the Punisher brawl style where
The arenas.
even if you go 3 rounds, it's 10 minutes like max type thing? So
we just had that.
yeah,
And it
we
was
just
super
had that, and people love that one.
Mhm.
Honestly, that's one of my favorites. That's like top 2 probably. What I think they probably should have done is at 17 minutes, the permalust kicked in, and everybody gets lust until the end of the game. I would have liked to have seen that permalust kick in earlier,
Yeah.
because that's basically a game ender at some point. Like, someone's gonna wipe or even if you don't wipe, you're going to get good push in from doing that. So
Everything you just said is hilarious out of context, but go on.
crap, I'm gonna be thinking
Yeah, I
about
wasn't
this
paying attention
now.
either.
How dare you? How dare you? But yeah, I mean, if it kicked in at like 12 minutes or 14 minutes or something like that, I feel like it would have been a little better, as that would have moved some games along that were kind of going slowly, of people just because these are straight maps that are played normally, right? It was just slightly tweaked stuff, and so some matches you have people just going for the kills, which is fun, but that doesn't progress the game at all that much until a lot later in the game cycle, especially if you're only onesie twosie picking people off and not getting full team wipes to allow you to actually push. So that's my one tweak. I think I would have moved the permalust earlier to just kind of shorten the game length overall.
Yeah.
A lot of those features you mentioned, like the Dragon Knight having lust and the minions and that sort of thing, mercenaries rather, are again just a reminder to read the instruction manual on these things. That initial page, I mean, you get so much more out of it. This reminds me a little bit of the that whole deal with the mages one, where you did the extra damage to structures. Just a minor point that people missed that could change the game around for you. So just something to keep in mind, like moving forward on these brawls, because I'm sure that'll continue.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's one I'll finish. I'll get my other 2 games in to get that
me too.
portrait and the gold. But yeah. All right. So patch notes. Top of the thing I want to talk about on these patch notes here, and just because it's being brought up in chat again, the rooster.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is not the golden rooster.
No, this is the regular rooster that you earn, which I
the
actually
very colorful, bright rooster.
And it's a beautiful mount, like Rafflezord is saying. I actually like it better than the gold one. Actually, probably about the same, just because it depends on what skin tint you're going for another hero, because this does not have skin tints, I do not believe. But
just the color and the gold one.
This
single tints.
frickin' rooster, who was an arch monkey, was asking us, for this show to do just like a guide on how to finish this thing, because people are confused. I don't care if you know how to do this thing. The timer on it is so fast, and it takes the rooster forever to make up his mind on what he wants. Unless like you are in voice chat with a fully coordinated team, the chances of you finishing this thing are super slim, especially 25 times or whatever that you're having to do it. So just how the mechanics work currently, the rooster is standing there, and he'll have a little icon in the top up there in the middle of what item he wants you to bring him. You have to go find that item, bring it back to him, and then he will change his mind and say another item he wants. If you bring him something that he doesn't want, he just takes it and doesn't move. And I think you have to do it 4 times in the allotted time to get that there. So it's really difficult, people turning in things just too soon before like he actually wants it, and it doesn't do anything. So the good news is, and I wasn't able to find this, but I've heard from discussion that Mr. Claudio Gentilini came out and said, along with, a patch they're hoping to release by Friday to fix some of the bugs, that they're going to make tweaks to that because it is too difficult.
Yeah, and I can tell you that specifically, actually. So there was 2 threads Claudio posted in. The first one was acknowledging that turning in, the problem was the rooster was still moving, and you turned in, and it popped up at the very end, and it popped up as like, yay, you finished, and it didn't actually count. So that was not making people happy for obvious reasons. And then, and then the other problem is that the percentage chance of it actually coming up seems to be incredibly low.
I've had it every game.
I've
had it every game.
5 or 6 games since the patch came out, and I've had it in one game. And at first people were really scared because you had to do it 25 times, and there was only 21 days in the event, which means you had to run into it multiple times. And not only that, you had to run into it multiple times, and the people actually had to finish it with you multiple times. So that was more the hard part. So he actually posted again just a few hours ago and said they're working on additional updates to the rooster race beyond the bug fix, and they're doing a time extension on when the event is available. So, and he reiterated they're trying to get it out again by the end of the week.
I love that they do these things. Just, to something easy to get them out. Just as long as you're playing the game, you should be able to get it. But that's what it needs to be. As long as you're playing the game, you should be able to get this.
And that's not how it is right now.
So I honestly, my thoughts on it: extend the time to let us, complete these 25 times or whatever, and just make it to where we have to collect charms and bring them to the rooster. Like, it doesn't need to be difficult. It shouldn't be something that if you're a quick match player, you're having to rely at all, period, on the team you're playing with to get this mount. I'm not saying you should be able to, do it literally by yourself, but you shouldn't have to coordinate like, oh, he needs this now. No, he needs this now. That's just too much coordination for people.
Especially for a pre-match.
Yeah.
Right. There's a part of me that agrees with you, but then there's a part of me too that says if it was kept that way, it's kind of fun to be a reward for people who actually try to coordinate it. Like, you'll only get this mount if you actually sit down with 5 people and try to pull it off.
Yeah, but
so I don't know.
I don't think that's what it's
but...
intended to be. Though,
no.
Which is what's frustrating about it. So, for all the rooster,
help is coming.
The rooster riot is real, and don't worry. Well, I think we will all have a chance to get our roosters.
I think it was a bigger deal because it's such a sweet mount.
It is. It's the coolest
like everybody
thing.
wants this mount, and everyone's scared because it's going to disappear after the event is over.
Yeah.
Like the golden one, I think is going to stay, as far as I know.
Maybe.
But
maybe not.
this one, and that's not even guaranteed. But this one was definitely going to be gone at the end of the event. So
yeah.
Hopefully we'll get a fix here in the next day or two.
Darn rooster. All right. Well, let's talk about Valeera now that we've gotten a chance to kind of hop in and play. They're not going to do deep discussion, like I said. Next week we'll do our hero of the week on her. But after having her in the real world now and playing her, I've just got to say, and Blizzard's been doing this really with the past 3 heroes at least. Well done on talents and talent diversity.
Very well done.
It makes it difficult. It makes it really difficult kind of the first couple days to settle on something, but at the same time it's super exciting to kind of just dive in and figure things out instead of, oh, somebody has figured this hero out already, let me go to Heroes Fire or whatnot and just pick those talents. So really just fantastic overall talent wise. But I didn't know how I'd feel about this because I've never been a big rogue player in WoW. But I love her. She feels awesome, and I'm getting better. I kind of feel like I freak out because she's a combo hero on very fast paced APM once you get in the action, and sometimes I feel like I'm just smashing my hand against my keyboard. But she has so many different combos. It's I don't know. I love her. It's really cool. The skins are awesome. The color tints are cool. TBK, what's your thoughts after getting in and playing on her?
Oh, she's super fun. I'm a huge fan. I like stealthy type heroes. She's got very much the style of weave in and out gameplay, which is really cool. She's not a 100-0 character, and I think some people are kind of expecting her to be. She's not. Thank goodness. She's not fully a WoW rogue. Like, I don't want her to be a WoW rogue. For the love of all that is good, don't make her a WoW rogue. But the kit feels like a WoW rogue, and so it's been a ton of fun to kind of try her out. You have to be careful because of your vanish cooldown. She is fairly squishy. I mean, she's got a decent amount of health, but she doesn't have much in the way of escapes other than her single dash. And so you got to...
And just stealthing again.
Yeah, and just stealthing it. But that's an 8-second thing. So
right.
The cooldown on the stealth doesn't start again until you come out of stealth.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a good balancing act. I really like it. She's a ton of fun. Like you said, crazy amount of talent variation. Lots of different combos. Lots of different ways you can use your combos. If there were any feedback I could give just kind of right off the bat, please, Blizzard, put her combo points on her health bar.
Yes.
Oh,
Like
okay.
above her head.
Because it is extremely hard while I'm in the middle of the action to glance down to the left and see where my combo points are at, where it'd be much easier for me to choose when to or know when to use Eviscerate. If I actually have the combo points right in front of me. So
Yep.
that's it would be super nice.
Well-
It wouldn't take up a ton of room, and that's my only wish.
If you
I
pick
think.
the talent we were discussing before the show, you wouldn't really need to look at it because they'd be there. But just saying. But I agree, it should definitely be visible.
Yeah.
Right.
And one other thing, and that you kind of mentioned this, and it took me like 2 games before. I don't know why this didn't click in my head, but Sinister Strike is an excellent escape. Like
Yes, it is.
incredible. I
Yeah.
just like think about it like Li Ming's damage teleport. It's pretty much exactly what it is. So really, really cool. And I don't think a lot of people are thinking of it that way right now, because I haven't
Yeah,
That's
seen
it.
doesn't
enemy
initiate-
Valiers do it that much.
That said, you try to escape, but I will tell you guys this right now, at least right now in quick match and that sort of thing. If you reveal yourself on Valera, that enemy team will stop at nothing to go for you. I mean, we're talking
It's that
butchers that
WoW
start the
rogue
charge
hatred. Yeah.
they don't even care. They just try it.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about for sure. But otherwise, yeah, I enjoy her quite a bit more than I thought I would. I'm always nervous going into the squishy melee assassins because, like, again, it's not really my play style, and I just when I see one that's as complicated as this, I immediately think, oh man, I'm gonna be just terrible on her, that flat out. But I don't think that has to be the case. I'm by my game 4, I was starting to really get like the rhythm of, going in stealth, getting an ability off. To that end, don't underestimate Garrote. Incredible. But yeah, I don't know. I still have some more time to learn, and this is why we don't do the heroes on the first week. We save them for the next one, so that we can have the time to sink it in. But she's one I kind of want to like take to 10 and get the master skin on. Like, that's how much I
Her
love the
master
kit.
skin's crazy cool though.
And the master skin's crazy cool.
It's got the tier 2 tint.
Oh, love it.
Second tint. It's incredible.
And
Tier 2
Like,
is the best tier of
so
all
good.
of WoW armor. Period.
So
Every
good.
class.
I don't know about that. But
Maybe I'm being sentimental, but still.
did you even play a rogue?
No, I hate rogues. Least favorite class in the game.
So how are you being sentimental? No. All right. Well, if you guys,
for tier 2.
yeah,
Tier 2.
if you all are finding stuff, tips and tricks you like about Valeera, let us know. Send us a tweet or hop in Discord, and we'll discuss some stuff next week. Looking forward to that. So the patch notes went live here. There were some changes made, so we're just going to go over the changes here real quick because we dove into that stuff pretty heavy last week. On the heroes and the ping frequency here, I don't see what they changed about that, but it's orange. But anyways,
Yeah.
you can ping.
Change a lot
Yeah.
between the patch.
You can ping a lot now. You can ping 5 times over 4 seconds. So, which I think isn't
nice.
It's not super necessary, but I get it because with the 3 times, like when I ping something, it's not to be annoying. I'll ping it like 2 times in a row, just to make sure like it's pointing. If somebody didn't hear it, if they cast a spell effect or something and didn't hear the ping it the first time, and it got to the point to where you can ping like, oh, ping ping ping, let's go do the boss, and then all of a sudden you see somebody and now you can't say no, don't go there, it's a bad place, don't go there, and you watch your team go to death. So now you can spam it a little bit more there. All right, and heroes, let's hop into the heroes. Valeera Cloak of Shadows cooldown decreased from 25 to 18 seconds on her heroic, which I actually haven't played Cloak of Shadows yet.
You shouldn't.
That's a lie. It's actually incredible. It grants you unstoppable for a
Yeah, that's
second,
true.
and it grants you. I mean, it's not as useful necessarily as your smoke bomb if you're going up against a mainly auto attack team because it gives you spell armor. But having And okay, so you have to be good at this too. It's basically a pre-cleanse. Stitch is throwing a hook at you, bam, Cloak of Shadows. Doesn't matter. You're about to get like stunned, Cloak of Shadows. Doesn't matter. It's basically, it allows you to be preemptive on a pretty dang short. It's a cleanse, self-cleanse on an 18-second cooldown.
Yeah.
Because it also removes all damage over time effects. So
Yeah, this
That
is
is
it's a little more situational, but don't underestimate it. It can be incredibly strong.
yeah. Her heroics overall are very different.
That they
I'm still trying to figure out the best way to use Cloak of Shadows, because it's a fairly short cooldown as well. I think it's like 45 or 50 seconds, or not
You
Cloak
mean
of Shadows,
Smoke Bomb?
Smoke Bomb.
Yeah.
And I've used it on initiations and team fights and stuff. Does it affect your teammates as well, as far as armor
No,
or anything?
just you.
Okay. So I've used it in some team fights and stuff, but really it's a fantastic escape as well, and you can like escape, turn on people in the smoke, and
Yeah, or it's a nice thing to give you enough extra stealth time until your vanish comes back up.
Right. I think it's best used like mid-group fight when you still have some health and you can actually just sit in it and get some value out of it and start laying in some waste. But yeah, it can be used for all those things. We'll get into all this next week.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. All right. Tassadar here, his tether range has been slightly increased for his basic attack. So step in the right direction, or step in a direction. I don't know if TBK would say the right direction.
He can't step in a direction.
Nope.
Yes.
It's true.
To be honest, I'm withholding judgment until I actually can get a decent amount of time with him on live. Like I need to. I haven't gotten much time with him yet since the patch went live yesterday. So I'm hoping to get some good time with him in this week, and I'll be able to feel him out a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because there's some good builds going around I want to try. So I just want to kind of see him. You're seeing him a lot right now for obvious reasons because it's a full rework. And I love seeing Archon again
Yes.
because it's a beast. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm withholding judgment.
That's a funny point, though. You are seeing him a lot right now because of the rework. And the same is true for Rexar. So it's actually kind of rough to be Valeera right now because you've got the Flare, you've got the Oracle. It's actually kind of rough to be
on
her.
purpose. It's like
Maybe.
let's do the two stealth countering hero reworks at the same time as the stealth hero.
But he got a few more changes here. Shield amount increased from 342 to 550, which is pretty darn big. And then Psionic Storm damage decreased. However, the consecutive damage has gone up to 12%, which that one's a little interesting. I like the shield.
You hit everything. If you hit something with all the ticks, it's a decent increase.
Mhm.
It's more getting those final ticks off on because that's what's going to do the real damage.
Yeah.
So it's a timing thing.
But since we talked about Tassadar and Valeera here and their changes real quick, worth mentioning just their win percentages right here. It's only been 2 days, but Tassadar has dropped to 1.4%, so he's at 44.8, which isn't.
It's not
terrible.
super indicative yet.
Well, in it, yeah, it's,
Tassadar has always been like a really crazy pro character.
Mhm.
I mean, we're
Yeah.
going to talk HGC a little bit, but Tassadar between NA and EU he was banned a ton. He was drafted 12 games, and he won every single one of them.
yeah. So it'd be super interesting to see if he's picked this week. But
Yes.
yeah, and yeah, you never take hot slogs, anything like that, like we said for Word. But overall, I
It's
was
the closest
actually
we've got.
it's the closest thing that we have to look at. But I was expecting it to drop a little more than just 1.4%.
Me too.
After our discussion last week and stuff, that's just the numbers weren't there, and he may continue to drop.
Yeah, because he has win percentage from the last 5
Yeah.
days as well, whereas the Valeera percentage is only from 2 days because she hasn't existed before then. So next week we'll have a better idea on Tassadar because it'll have been a full week on his rework.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. And then Valir also, she's at 40.7%. So
That's a little surprising to me, honestly.
low or
Like,
high?
I think it's a little low. I don't think she's 40.7% bad.
Well,
honestly.
she's just hard to play. Though.
Yeah,
That's what I think. I think she's harder to play, and so I expect to see that raise some. It's quite possible she might need a few little tweaks here and there, but at least the times I've played her, she doesn't feel at least super lacking to me.
no.
The one time in which she does, though, and I did notice this, if you're losing, if you're down by 2-3 levels, and the opposing team is really coordinated and they're pushing things together and whatnot, you really do kind of feel like just a gnat flying around the sides, and like you can't really get in there and do much.
I
But I
mean,
mean, that's
to be
true.
fair,
for
that's with a lot of characters. If you're two
Exactly.
levels down.
I think Illidan being the worst on that fact.
Oh yeah.
But, well, yeah, in Valera, I do think she has a little bit higher skill cap or skill floor. But then at the same time, like Multi said, not just Tassadar and Rexar, but I think there's a lot of people just playing, heroes that are good against anti-stealth heroes right now because, well, that's what happens when we get a new stealth hero here.
Right.
Yeah. So there's two other things I want to make mention of before we jump off the patch thing. The first was this cool little Reddit thread I found that I didn't see that is entitled "Best Change This Patch," and in some ways I'm inclined to agree. All the talents that used to say after a short delay, like after a short delay, Horrify goes off, or after a short delay, Guillotine goes off. They now actually indicate how long it takes to activate the said ability, and all range talents have numerical values now rather than a percent. For example, Horrify now says 0.5 seconds. That's really cool.
It is cool.
Thumbs up, Blizzard. That is super freaking helpful.
It makes me wonder, like, I'm sure they had a reason for why it was after a short delay before. Maybe they just wanted it to be more approachable,
reads
less
easier.
numbers.
Yeah.
But it was annoying.
I like the
because-
numbers.
Yeah, for sure. Because after a short delay, two talents say that it's not the same delay. So it was just
Right, yeah.
weird. So, Jorb.
Yeah, huge, really good change. Love that. The other thing is, guys, just FYI, if you see funkiness going on, this is probably one of the buggiest release patches we've ever had. There is a crap ton of bugs. Everything from Ragnaros Q bug to Artanis bugs to Holy Ground Ontario being able to displace the Immortals on Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Like, it's absolutely insane. And so there's just a ton. Zeratul got a Vorpal Blade bug, I believe, to where the tether range for it is actually only as far as his blink instead of unlimited in the duration, I believe. So there's a lot, and there's more than that. Like, those are some of the big ones. Ragnaros and Artanis were actually banned from the HGC Open
Oh, really?
because of those bugs. The new Monkey King Samuro skin, here your clones are a different color than you are, and so
Oh, wow.
it's super easy to pick out which one is the real one. So I would expect to see a hot fix, hopefully on Friday when they release this, like, Rooster, whatever they're going to do for the Rooster event fix. I'm hoping they release a hot fix for a lot of the issues, because, and this is something I kind of want to bring up as we transition into tournament talk, because now that Blizzard is running this HGC Open that takes place every week, is running these HGC that takes place every week, I feel like they're going to have to put a higher priority on bug fix patches when stuff comes out to allow heroes to be playable, because there was several heroes not allowed in the HGC NA Open the last two nights.
Yeah,
and that really could mess with drafting and stuff.
For sure. In Artemis, I saw she tweeted earlier that they're just super frustrated because of, it makes it hard to practice around these bans. Not an issue. I want to correct myself. We won't. These Tassadar changes, whether or not he's picked this week, they would have no effect because they do. I think its last patch is going to carry through like week 3 or 4.
So this is interesting, and I'd really like to hear some clarification from Blizzard on this. So in one of the articles, they talked about having HGC, the pro scene, being a few weeks older, like on an older patch, and not moving to the newest patch for a few extra weeks. This is really interesting to me because Blizzard's never had a tournament server before. So they talked about converting to a tournament server. But then some of the pros were saying that they can't scrim on the tournament server. So I don't know how that works as to playing on the old patch, but not being able to scrim on the old patch, and then playing your majority of your games and scrims on the new patch, and then going back to the old patch for the Pro League. So
for
I like
Tassadar, for instance, Tassadar's completely new hero. You can't really practice any comps with him for 2 weeks or however long till that patch actually goes live for the tournament. So that is weird.
So I'd like Blizzard to come out a little bit with some clarification on how the HGC patching cycle works and how the tournament server works and how that all, because it's been kind of nebulous. Because the tournament server, if I remember right, is only mentioned by Melkfat, the Heroes Esports head, in an article that talked about kind of the HGC and where they're going and stuff. So unless I've missed something, which is totally possible, I have not seen any sort of clarification on that, and I don't know.
Don't they do tournament servers and old patches and that sort of thing in other games? I seem to recall League of Legends and others.
League of Legends has a dedicated tournament environment, but it didn't sound like that's what this was. It just sounded like we have a tournament thing for HGC pro games on the weekends. It didn't sound like they had like the full environment up that all the pro teams could be screaming on, but I could be wrong. I mean, that's needs to be the end goal, right? Is you need to have a tournament client version on tournament servers so that these teams can scrim against each other. But the problem with that too is, do you open that up to more teams, or are these teams now only allowed to scrim within themselves, which is an incredibly small pool? It's just 8 teams.
Yeah.
So you really want to be able to scrim outside those teams, because there is a lot of good in teams in the quote amateur scene that I'm sure a lot of these teams would like to scrim against. So I would just like to see some clarification around that.
Maybe they could open it up to the open as well.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you are like, your battle tag is currently signed up for one of the tournaments that they've had, you should hopefully at some point have access to that server up until you either stop playing or didn't sign up for the next tournament or whatnot. Just get more people in there for those scrims.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. Like, so Blizzard would actually have to turn that into a fully fledged environment then, and support that for a lot of people. So it'll be interesting. I would love to get some clarification or kind of get a developer post with the kind of details and the mindset around that. Because that will be important going forward for league structure, for sure, if they're going to be playing on backwards patches. So let's get into tournament talk a little bit. Chair League, first off, Season 4 starts Monday. Woo! Super excited. So if you haven't signed up, get your team signed up. There's still time before the season starts, and that's going to be tons of fun. If you want to get into casting, that's also a fantastic way to do it. Moving on from that, today, Heroes of the Dorm was announced. Woo!
With a fantastic Carbot animation trailer.
Oh my gosh.
The Syndra Zamboni.
So good.
The Zamboni.
Oh my gosh.
Is incredible.
Kerrigan, cheerleader Kerrigan, which is on the official art. So maybe we'll be getting a cheerleader Kerrigan skin, which would be fantastic.
I can see that.
Yeah. You got to look at the official art. It looks, the Kerrigan cheerleader skin looks so good.
Yeah, that's great. That's
great. So that's coming soon. All the dates are announced. $500,000, of course, in scholarships and other prizes. They will have the Fantasy League again for the top 64, which will be fun. Registration is now open from today up until February 11th. Once on February 11th, the registration closes, and then the group stages and the playoffs start February 15th through March 8th. And this is what will determine the round of 64. From March 18th to March 26th, the top 64 teams are seeded into a single elimination bracket. And then on April 8th, the Heroic Four, so it's just going to be a one-day thing. April 8th, the Heroic Four will play the semifinals and the finals live. They have not announced yet where it is going to be. I'm crossing my fingers that they actually announce it sooner than like 2 weeks before, 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, like they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
The little caveat here is that instead of ESPN and Twitch, all the round of 64 and Heroic 4 matches are going to be streamed on Facebook Live.
Yep.
So I don't know how I feel about actually, that's a lie. I do know how I feel about this. It seems it confuses me, guys. I'm very confused by this because Facebook Live has not been super embraced as a streaming platform. The quality of the Facebook Live streams is not super high, at least to my knowledge right now. It's like bitrate capped and frame capped and such, which is not, I mean, you want the highest bitrate and the most frames you can get watching MOBAs. At least I do. It leads to a much smoother watching experience. So I don't know if they're going to do something special with Facebook to improve that or not, but it just seems like kind of an out of left field.
It does.
Totally.
Well,
it kind of is and kind of isn't, because Blizzard's been kind of embracing the whole Facebook thing.
Yeah.
Because they've actually, built the Facebook streaming integration and Battle.net and such. But it still seems kind of weird going from like Twitch, which is the biggest streaming platform in the world right now for games, and ESPN2, which has been really cool seeing it actually live on TV, even though I know some people were a little annoyed because the finals games they couldn't watch if they didn't have ESPN. But it almost seems like a step down.
Yeah. And I think so we don't really know the reason why. I've seen both articles on the more sports side say, ESPN's taking a step back from its esports push because they dropped Heroes of the Storm, which they've had on ESPN2 the past 2 years. But then at the same time, we know this Facebook partnership has been growing and existing because of the Battle.net launcher connection. But it is really it's just strange that it is just on Facebook, and I know there's a lot of people upset about it. If you're in chat right now, let us know what your thoughts are on this, because I'd love to get your opinions while we're discussing it. But for me personally, while yes, I would love to see this on TV, yes, I would rather this be on Twitch. It's good for the fact that people that don't have ESPN, didn't live in areas where they had access to ESPN, to be able to watch this. There's a wider audience that this could reach potentially, if I imagine Facebook will sponsor, have this sponsored, maybe show up on people's timelines that don't typically watch ESPN or play games, get to see it. The big question here is, are you going to need a Facebook account to watch it? I haven't.
The answer is no.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Or it seems to be no, because you can watch Facebook live streams without a Facebook account.
Okay.
And I would agree. If that were the case, that would be a horrible, horrible move.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So there is a bigger audience that can watch this, but will they? I don't know the kind of numbers that the Facebook streaming has been putting up just in general, but like, to me, even now, even after all the improvements at it thus far, Facebook is more about it, for most people anyway, looking at pictures of each other's kids and cats and vacation photos and like doing group events and that sort of thing. And I don't know. Maybe because I don't use it very much, I don't know how well it's caught on, but I just have never gotten the impression that it's particularly huge and well loved. So
Well, and
that
it's
just adds to the weirdness to me.
yeah, and people have been dropping off of Facebook recently. The only thing I use it for now is I go on and you see what videos people posted. Oh, look, there's a cute puppy video. Yeah, I'll watch that. Why not? It's just
You do share some good ones.
Yeah.
I really watch them all.
It's
Mostly pug related.
Facebook's
Yep.
just so full of junk and crap right now. I mean, for goodness sakes, I don't know, at least once a day, there is a fake video game being advertised on my timeline that is ripping off Blizzard games as well as other games. And like this is a thing that doesn't even exist. Like, so that the fact that Blizzard would want to get into a partnership with Facebook there is kind of puzzling to me, with that stuff going on. But yeah, it is real weird and a shame you can't watch it on Twitch. Now the question becomes, as people who are fans of Heroes of the Storm and Heroes of the Dorm, what do we do? Do we want to say, hey, we're upset about this, let's not watch it? I really want to watch it, but if we watch this on Facebook, the numbers that come in,
Yeah. Are you showing approval?
Are
to
we
that
showing
method of
approval
streaming delivery?
that this could be something that they just move to? Because that would be awful.
Mhm.
And
would.
so it's really conflicting. Yeah, and
The other problem, I mean, it's a good thing too in a way, but there's just going to be so much Heroes to watch. Then there's no way I'm keeping up with all of that in HGC.
yeah,
At least as fully as I'd like.
Well,
to, I
if
should
you
say.
if you look, there's 3 bye weeks in the schedule around that time period, and
Helps
I
out
was
some.
I was going to guess on this episode that that's when Dorm would be, and then they announced it today, and so I don't get a look like Nostradamus or whatever when they actually announce it. But so it looks like HGC is going to be taking a break during the big time
Okay.
of it. So, I mean, which makes sense. They want to free people up to watch it, right? But I'm with you, Greg. I'm very torn about, because I'd want to watch it, but I don't necessarily want to let them know I'm supporting Facebook over something like Twitch or ESPN. It's kind of a conflict, and I mean, voice your concerns to Blizzard. I mean, that's really all you can do. Voice your concerns to Blizzard. I'll probably end up watching it regardless, just because I'm such a big Heroes fan. One thing they probably are going to need to do, I mean, Facebook is got a lot of people on it still. If they need to target their advertising, and they need to advertise the crap out of it if they're going to do it on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's what needs to be done. Like, I want to be scrolling through my feed and see like a big ol' promoted Heroes of the Dorm type thing, and it going through the timeline and stuff. Because, like, as far as I know right now, Facebook, maybe they can do it on a sidebar or something while it's going on. Maybe they can put it on their trending topics while it's live. I mean, a lot of people see those. But it's not like Twitch where they can be like, okay, bam, we're promoting it on the very front of the site. Because there really is no front of the site to Facebook.
yeah.
So, I don't know.
And
I'm willing to give it a chance, but I'm very lukewarm on the whole Facebook streaming idea.
And from everyone in chat, a lot of people just don't have Facebook anymore, and people are saying
yeah.
it's not something nerds use for like they don't use Facebook except for giveaways and unlocks and stuff like that. And it's a good point. If this is the direction Blizzard is wanting to go, the partnership, I imagine, hopefully Facebook they have to do something to appeal more to gamers, because right now there's absolutely no reason. We have Twitter and Twitch; those fill the 2 needs that we need. For social media and watching video games. So Facebook needs to have something else entirely to get gamers back in there, and then this could, bam, could be awesome. But there's no reason for us to, Facebook is for family and real life
kind of
friends
what it's turned into.
and
That's how I think
people
it's fine,
arguing
yeah.
about politics and cute puppy videos. That's what Facebook is right now. It's not in any way, shape, or form a place where you go
It's
to
not a place
for video
I'd go
games.
to think of, yeah, I want to go see a video game stream. I better go to Facebook.
Can you do more than one of those at the same time? I would love to see a cute puppy video with someone just screaming at me like Trump's gonna kill us all or something in the middle of it. Just I don't know. I think these can be stacked. These can be stacked.
Kind of balance each other out.
Yes.
It's- so
So that's that. I mean, we'll have to see how it develops, and I'm sure we'll have kind of a retrospective once the stream is done, and we can kind of speak feedback more on that. And some of the games before the finals will be streamed on Facebook Live too, so we'll get kind of a primer to probably how the finals are actually going to end up looking like beforehand as well.
Yeah.
So let's here for a few minutes jump into HGC. The first week of HGC is out of the way. Next week's schedule is out, and guess what? The entirety of the schedule up until the midpoint is already out. You can go and check those out right now, and it will tell you exactly when and where you need to watch. And holy crap, let's go through the NA stuff real fast. Friday at 4 Central, we got Tempo Storm versus Team Freedom. 6:30 Central, No Tomorrow versus Superstar. Saturday, Tempo Storm and B-Step, Naventic No Tomorrow. And then Sunday, Gale Force and Freedom versus Teammate and Superstars. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time going over the schedule because you can go and check it out. And I encourage you to because the site's awesome. And they've laid everything out super nice. But I wanted to just kind of do a roundtable real fast on your thoughts, your likes, and a little bit of constructive criticism. So to start off, all the games were fantastic. The series were awesome, and I cannot speak enough to how big of a difference in-game draft made.
Yeah.
It made games flow so much faster. The entire weekend was very high quality production. Like super kudos to all the people who worked on it. It was A+ production. They had the graphics in, they had transition stuff down. All the games moved along at a very reasonable speed. And what's really funny is this is a fully online tournament, and this went far smoother than some like LAN tournaments where everybody was there in a controlled environment.
Oh yeah.
So that was super, super awesome that everything went down fast. The casters were on point. I was so happy Keleres casted, and he's casting again in week 2. It was such a fun surprise, and I'm going to miss the crap out of him, honestly, when he is gone. He is my favorite EU caster, I think.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. It's going to be interesting to me to see what the dynamic is between Trixler and Kaldor. It could be really good, or Kaldor could just be extremely overpowering because that's the kind of caster he is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's my main concern right now, because Trixler and Keleres worked wonderfully. They played off each other really well. We even had like a Keleres 1% core game. All the teams really turned it up a lot. There were far more sets like past, the third game than I thought there was going to be.
For sure.
Which was really cool, because all these games are best of 5. If there's anything that I could give some constructive criticism on, it might be, especially as the season goes on, they may have to adjust their start times, because I feel like as these teams get better and play better and start researching each other more and stuff, we are going to see a lot more series of games and a lot less 3-0s.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
As we go forward.
the only, in both NA and EU, the only undefeated team is Team Expert from Europe. So
Yeah,
I
all
mean,
the other ones drop games, right?
yeah, exactly.
Right.
So
At least-
there
at
there
least
are
1 or 2 games.
much, going to be much fewer 3-0 games, which is awesome, excellent.
Yeah. So that's super awesome. So that's probably one of the only things I would say is there were definitely times when one series ran over into another. several times. So maybe adjusting it, because now that these are actually scheduled times, they don't have to worry about making a series last up until the next series.
Mm-hmm.
Because they say, okay, this one's going to start at 4:30. Okay, this one's going to start at 6:30. And so I can look at the schedule and be like, okay, if the 4:31 ends an hour early, that's fine. It doesn't matter because you have it scheduled. So that was really cool. The viewer numbers were fantastic.
Yeah.
We were in the top 10 of Twitch the entire weekend, going as high as like 6th, 5th, 6th, 7th place, which was amazing for the opening week. 20, 30,000 people watching. And we really owe it all to very professional production and schedules.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get this every week. And I'm super excited. I'm not going to be able to watch like every single EU and NA game almost like I did this weekend, just because I kind of wanted to. I'm going to be watching all the EU games because Colaris next week or this coming weekend too, if I can help it. But no, it was very impressive. It really kicked it up several notches from their production last year.
It did,
For sure.
and there were a few hiccups, which understandable for this being not just the first week of this season, but the first time they've been doing these productions. Period. Like I know Gillia's mic was left on at one point. And also, the casters, there was a few hiccups on cues between them back and forth. But that's understandable. This is our first time back casting and, since BlizzCon. So it's only stuff that's going to get better. And overall, like TBK said, the quality of it is just, it's incredible. It's like watching ESPN. It's like watching NFL on the Sunday. To where, you go from games to, back to the station for analytics and, what happened last game, highlights before the next game starts. And it just flows right into the next game well.
Oh, yeah. While I've got that thought. Sorry, pause Gizmo. The other constructive criticism. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
The other constructive criticism thing, please make more commercials. Because you literally had like the same 5 commercials all 3 days.
That's been true for a lot.
It was starting to wear down. You've got a ton of hero videos. Just throw more hero videos in. Or better yet, throw that amazing Ragnaros variant cinematic in there.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
You could do other Blizzard titles and stuff.
Yeah.
Or even I didn't see their new like what is Heroes of the Storm trailer in there at all. Which would be perfect. Maybe it was
the Heroes Defy one, or are you talking about that other one?
They're just the new one, like going over what is Heroes of the Storm,
comparing it to the other MOBAs and stuff.
Yeah. That would be a really good one to throw in there.
People seeing it high on Twitch,
it's a minor
click on
thing,
it, watching. Yeah, minor things.
I was just like, okay, Jaina, I know that
Lost
you're
Vikings.
in the Nexus to make friends, and that you freeze all your friends, and then you get really pissed at the end.
Yeah.
Everyone just get along.
And the
I didn't want to get
really
along by the end of the weekend, Jaina. I didn't want to get along.
Yep.
I don't want you to help. Anyway, no, I just kind of want to echo what you guys are saying a little bit. The one thing I would push back on you guys about this whole scheduling issue, though, is that I do feel as if there is some downtime between the matches that you'd lose some viewers. Not everybody. I mean, the people keeping up on the schedule certainly would keep up and come back at the proper time and all that. But there's some people that just want to sit down and watch it roll, have it on in the background of whatever else you're doing. And as a Hearthstone fan, one of the really nice things about following Hearthstone esports is that there really is next to no downtime at all when an event starts. Like to the point where they'd swap out the casters if they need to. Literally a match stops and then they just start talking about a little bit what happened and then what's coming up in the next one, and then just go. So I'm a little worried about it if they went that route, and I think they're trying to avoid that by squeezing it all together as they are. And at present, I think it's fine. And when it comes to scheduling things, I think Raffle was saying, even the BlizzCon games ran a little long, and sometimes you can't really control pauses that the teams are going to take, as well as, if there are any tech issues that come up and that sort of thing. Although to your point, Gizmo, there were very few like hardcore tech issues. We didn't have a situation where we were sitting there for hours listening to commentary and that sort of thing, which was good to see, especially for a first time running. But yeah.
One thing I would like to see them move to, in this, depends. I don't know what their contracts with their casters are and things like that, but I would love to see, in between, maybe even just get away from the videos completely. In between matches, if they don't have anything else to talk about, going over to Trixler and Kalaris or Kaldor whenever he joins on, and give us a highlight from an awesome EU match. What happened during the in the EU for those of us that weren't able to catch that earlier in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like how it happens in actual
highlights,
sports,
yeah,
football.
exactly.
Player interviews, all that type of stuff would be great for filler in between games.
I like that a lot.
So
the last thing I want to say though is I loved all the stuff going on screen, all the interface things, the actual player face portraits where they're looking down and then up at the camera, were cool. And then just in general, like I really liked where it would actually pop up and tell you when a particular character completed a quest, because that's something catering to people who really know the game, the characters, and that sort of thing. So I felt like it was easy to watch from an outsider point of view and still gave people who follow the games a lot to go off of as well. So I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed.
All right. My last thing here on HGC before we move on. My opinion, my anger over the whole teammate thing last week has subsided a little bit. I'm still upset about the fact that they potentially took the opportunity for other players away. But teammate looked incredible. So good for them for Prismaticism coming in.
They looked awesome.
They're 2-0. So, good thing Shu8 left, I guess. Maybe he was a weak link. Maybe they just got that much better. Who knows? But good on them. But let's talk minion waves real quickly here. A lot of interesting stuff on Reddit. This came out. Who was this? Upogsy? Upogsy.
Yeah. I was gonna do this for a community content shout out, but it kind of is, but there's some interesting information here I didn't even know.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, but we don't need to go through everything. But the fact he just goes through basics, type of minions, general tips and info. The fact minions spawn every 30 seconds from the core. They're worth 452 experience per wave, and then after 2 minutes, minions level up every 2 waves. I had no idea that's how that worked either. I assumed it went just with scaling of the game, which is going to increase their experience as well as their stats. They do 3 times damage to structures. They prioritize minions over heroes, and then what was the thing? There was something about leash length on here, talking about how they have very short leash length. Gosh darn it! I feel like those things chase me to the end of the earth all the time.
Yeah.
So
the big stuff I wanted to make sure we pointed out, because these could be super helpful for you in game. The first 5 minion waves are worth more than kills.
Mm-hmm.
Missing out on a wave's XP to score a kill generally isn't worth it early game. Plus respawn timers are pretty short. So that was really interesting. The first 5.
Yeah, that point, I get it, and I think people have gotten into the all 5 middle lane start things out the gate, and that's kind of just the thing right now, has been for a while. The problem is people are getting into too much where they want to stick around too long. It was never supposed to be, hey, let's fight until we get a kill. It's like, hey, let's see if we can snag a kill really quick and then get to our lanes.
Sometimes if your team isn't the one getting the kill, that can actually put you doubly far behind, because then they got the kill for that XP and you miss the XP that's worth more than a kill.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's a pretty big deal.
It's still good if you can get a quick kill, because you get experience for that, gives you time to get back down to bottom lane, while while the death timers are still short, there's a chance the person who died miss a wave or 2 because of the time they spent in middle lane and then dying. So it still can be beneficial. We just need to get back to the point of get in there. Oh, there's nothing there. Let's get to our lanes.
Yeah. The
For
other
sure. And I mean, it is fun to get in those group fights in the middle and stick
it
around.
is.
It's
It
just
is
like
so
fighting
much
for
fun.
the eye at the beginning of the match.
I
It's
know.
it's fun,
Mhm.
but it's not always correct. Anyway, as you're saying.
Oh, the other major thing that I wanted to point out that a lot of people might not know is that if you kill the archers first, you'll move the wave forward faster for pushing. While if you kill the footmen first, it keeps the wave more steady for when you don't want to overextend or pull the wave closer to your fort to be less vulnerable to gangster soaks.
Yeah.
So that is a super interesting tip. If you need the stuff to stay closer because you're worried about ganks, kill the footmen first. If you want to move forward faster, push faster, kill the archers first.
I'm interested.
Really interesting.
Yeah, and I'm interested to test it out and kind of see what difference it really makes, because the front guys, the footmen, are your tanks, and just off the top of my head, thinking back, because that's generally just what I've done, anyways, because they've been closest. After you kill them, your minions kill the archers pretty darn quick, just because they are squishy. So I'm interested to see if that really does have a lasting effect.
Either way, I have to
good
admit,
tip.
I don't think I've ever thought about prioritizing those sets. I mean, I've
Yeah.
certainly gone in for the caster to get the regen globe and stuff like that, but
Sure.
it's that's very interesting.
So interesting things there. I've always just thought of them as minions, just kill them. So
Oh yeah,
who knows?
Right.
Maybe this will help.
It adds just another layer of strategy that you can think about.
For sure. All right, and then our community content shout out that we have this week, TBK, and I love this one. I love it.
Yes. So the first one is done by Kendrick Swish, who's a Heroes caster, host, all around good guy. He streams quite a bit. He's on the EU side of things. He put together this amazing HGC Week 1 highlight video. And he runs through everything, and the video is hilarious. It's like 7 or 8 minutes long, and so we'll have it in the show notes. Highly recommend you check it out because it's super entertaining, and there was some incredible plays that were made this weekend.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Just off the top of my head, the 5-man mosh and
That was the first thing I was going to mention.
The Sylvanas Glaurung
5
save.
Man, mosh.
Yeah, I actually that was incredible. I think I was more impressed with the Glaurung saves. Glaurung, if you guys did not watch
the
this
Medivh
weekend,
saves, yes.
Glaurung on Medivh is incredible. Like, he found his hero, and it's funny, he described it as, he is a very aggressive player, so it kind of blew our minds when he picked this. He's like, but I can be aggressive now and not die. Like, he just has the escapes. And he knows when people are about to die because he's died a lot. So he knows when to throw those portals down. So, heck of a Medivh player.
Yeah, so definitely watch that. Check the show notes for it. It's lordsofthestorm.libsyn.com. It's really good. And then secondly, this is also an amazing video. My buddy Jay Howe made this thing, and I learned some stuff from it because I had no idea how this stuff works. So it is a cursed hollow video, and it shows how you can reasonably predict tribute spawns. Breaks everything down. Really, really cool. Really, really worth watching because you can almost completely accurately predict the third tribute spawn before the cycle resets. And you can actually, in a team environment, plan stuff around that, which is really cool.
Well, and even if you're not in a team environment, just especially with mount speeds that have slowed down and stuff, how if you can continue to push in a lane or if you're going to need to start rotating up because it's going to be on the opposite end of you.
Exactly.
Right.
Very, very cool stuff. Stuff that for the longest time I didn't even think about because I thought it was just super random. But yeah, it's really interesting. Gives a lot of examples, and it's just something another thing you can keep an eye on. People say the game doesn't have depth. This game has so much depth.
Yeah,
and especially even on down to the specific battlegrounds.
Yeah, there's so much. If you ever feel like you are kind of in a stale spot in the game and not improving, check this stuff out. There's a ton of this stuff out here. Not just Cursed Hollow and Minions, how Minions work. There are so many things that I think a lot of people don't think about. So it's ways to improve your game, even if just by a little bit. So we have one question here this week, Multi, from Monty.
That we do. Monty writes, you guys have done an amazing job keeping the community interested in HOTS as well as LOTS. So after 100 episodes, what are your goals for 2017? And then he adds, no matter what, I'll be here listening and playing on Wednesday nights. Thanks again. So goals for 2017. I mean, obviously we want to keep the show going. We want to shoot for that 200. No plans on stopping there or anything. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I want to keep building up the community as we've been doing. Sometimes these things don't really kick up overnight to huge numbers, but I mean, over time, we've seen just, and I'm sure we'll talk about this next week a little bit too, and we're reminiscing and crying inside. But over time, it's grown a lot, and we're still seeing growth for sure. Not to give any real specific numbers or anything necessarily, but to say that. I mean, we keep seeing more people come in the Discord. We keep seeing, numbers, downloads increasing. So I think that we will just keep it going. And as more people get more interested, I think it'll grow. And I think the game itself is going to continue to grow, mostly, in my opinion, because of this HGC and all the improvements that have been made there. I think we're going to pull viewers from other games like League of Legends over and that sort of thing. And we're going to have a lot of new people hanging out. Listening to shows, playing games, getting in there. So my plan personally is to just keep on keeping on and just doing the best we can to give you guys the best content we can as well. But did you guys have anything else on top of that to expand upon?
Yeah, and I wish I had longer to kind of think about this question.
Me too.
But one of the really unique things about our show, I think, is it wasn't just one of us created this. It was we just got together and did it, and it's never been super formal. We've just kind of done what we want, which is nice. I think for this year, we want to continue to do that, but we're always open to adding new segments, new ideas to the show. I know I'm personally I've been working on, when I have time, upping production value. I want to get more sounders in. I've been working on pre-show stuff for the Twitch stream, but it gets hard whenever you have a full life outside of the podcasting. So I want to continue to work on that, and really just continue to play and talk Heroes. It's the reason we started the show. We were just talking about it and wanted to throw a mic down, listen to it. Not us listen to it, but see if anybody else wanted to listen to it, and you guys did, and we appreciate each and every one of the downloads that you guys have done for our episodes. I wish I had more time to get in depth with this answer, but I haven't had.
You're gonna have more time next week.
Time to think about it.
For
yes,
sure,
I will for sure. TBK, what about you?
Oh, I'll just echo what you guys saying. I love doing this. It's super fun. We're gonna continue doing it. Blizzard has been incredibly supportive. Their community team, the Heroes community team, is by far, as far as I'm concerned, the best community team in Blizzard. They've done a lot of stuff. So just this year, we're just going to do more and better. We're going to have some really cool guests come on this year, some really cool interviews come on this year. Just leveling up everything. There's going to be a lot more heroes coming out. There's going to be new maps coming out, which is going to be super awesome. Lords of the Lane will continue, and most likely sometime in March we'll have another one of those. It got kind of pushed off a little bit because of the charity brawl.
Yeah.
Took priority, but that will be returning. I know a lot of people have asked me about that. That will be coming because we always really enjoy putting those things on. And like Greg said, upping production value, just getting cooler, better stuff for the stream, and just putting on the best podcast we can.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, well, and even so, Skippy the Wonder Chicken in chat is Zagros Sword, one of our newest patrons.
Oh, nice.
But he just the Blizzard, the Heroes community team, for instance, he wouldn't be a listener if it wasn't for them. He said he just randomly saw us appear on the launcher a month, 6 weeks ago, clicked on it, and hopped on the bandwagon. So they really have been fantastic on helping just everything grow, because I think they enjoy listening to the podcast. We bring ideas to the table. We're a voice for the community, which is nice. And then also, I think they appreciate not just our podcast, but all the other podcasts. We will talk about what we don't like. We'll talk about what we dislike. For instance, the Facebook thing.
Yep.
And we always try to bring in the community thoughts to that as well, not just ours. Because like I said, we are kind of a voice for the community, which is a big responsibility. Makes me a little nervous. But that's going to do it for this week's show. Make sure if you guys are in the chat, stick around for an after show game or two. Multi, where can we be reached?
We can be reached several ways, and you should do it, because don't put the pressure just on us to be the mouthpiece. Talk to us. Let us know what you want to get to Blizzard. I mean, get on the forums, get everywhere. Blizzard pays attention to all this stuff for sure. So just get involved. And there are several ways you can get involved with us. You can join our channel in-game by typing /join space LOTS, or we've got a Discord that we alluded to earlier, a chat service, which is sticky at the top of our Twitter, which is @Lords of the Storm, and we've got twitch.tv/Lords of the Storm live Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central, or you could go to the far inferior website, facebook.com/Lords of the Storm podcast, but we do have that for you guys. We keep it up. It's good stuff. Also, you can send us emails, feedback, questions, or, reactions coming up to the 100th episode yet again. Send us in anything along the lines of what were your favorite moments of the show, that sort of thing. We're trying to compile them now. That is lordsofthestorm@outlook.com. And if you want to help out the show, there's a couple ways to do it. You can leave us positive reviews out there on iTunes and Stitcher. And then you can also... What are you laughing at?
What are you laughing at?
Nothing, keep going. I'll tell you.
Okay. All right.
It's like, that's my job, to randomly laugh at things.
Yeah. So,
Right.
all right. 5-star iTunes and Stitcher reviews. Thanks for those, guys. And thanks even more, perhaps, to our patrons at patreon.com, who, we thrive off your support and appreciate everything you do. But, okay, so what's the deal?
No, just think, improvements for 2017. We've condensed our ending section once before, but condensing it again. It's
no, dude, I had to throw in that flair this time. I had to bash Facebook. That's what this whole episode.
No, I know. It just cracks me up. It does. You can also find us individually on Twitter. I'm at Gizmazord, as well as Twitch, and also on Convert to Raid Presents, the World of Warcraft podcast about World of Warcraft and all things Blizzard. Little dash of Hearthstone and Heroes and whatever else suits your fancy. Multi, where can you be reached?
I am on Twitter at Multizord, and also on another show called The Cavalry, which is about Overwatch. It's on Twitter at The Cavalry Show.
All right, and TBK?
Oh, my mute button. Can't click. You can find me. We are failing this outro thing.
Anytime an episode
I
goes
nailed it.
past a minute 30, it goes downhill real quick.
It really does.
Look, I nailed it, guys. You don't even know.
You can find me on Twitter at TBKZord and twitch.tv/TBKZord, where you will see me streaming and casting Chair League as of next week. And you can also potentially find me. I will probably be casting some of the NA HGC Open games with DJ Tyrant, as I did this past Monday. So definitely check out his channel as well.
Absolutely. Well, we want to give a special thanks to our patron producer, Ouroboros Sword, for helping support the show. Until then, get your roosters, or more likely, fail to please the rooster. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so what's the exact wording of failing to please the rooster? Because I think that should be the name of the episode.
Oh, absolutely.
Is it you
Oh,
failed to please the rooster?
You have failed to please the rooster. Yeah.
Yeah, that has to be.
Yeah, I think that's the name. You have failed to please the rooster. That's really the only thing it can be.
Yep.
For sure. All right, guys. We're going to... I say this without consulting TBK real quick, but we're going to switch the stream real quick. So for the post-show games, because still my computer doesn't like me streaming games right now. Don't know what's going on. But if you guys want to join, get in game, type /join space LOTS, and we'll get you in there.
I have to swap out some laundry. I'm logging in now, but I'll be right back.
All right.
Check. Let me switch.
Gorath,
over.
I see you in there. You get yourself in game. Get yourself in game.
Yeah. Come on, Bo. Come in. All right.
What
let
is-
me...
I don't even Seal. I don't even honestly. I don't know what Moobot.
I know what it is.
Moobot is very picky. So you just gotta, she doesn't like when you talk about her fellow farm family poorly. I guess
Things.
you got banned from
Farm
making.
things. That was.
Put spaces in it because I'm really intrigued to see what the crappy
Seal,
rooster
that
pun
is-
is.
That is freaking hilarious. That is freaking hilarious.
All right. Stream's gonna go down
I'll-
real quick. It'll be back up in a sec.
Yeah, Moobot's